Hey, hello, and welcome everyone. Thank you, Tag, for the first. Thank you. Congratulations. I mean, hello. Congrats, congrats. Today we're gonna read 2 chapters of A Soldier's Life like usual, and then I will league. Yes, then I will league. Then I will probably read another League Champ after that as a finish. Whoa. I'm actually not that tired, but I guess I am. I am somewhat tired. Didn't get the most sleep. Speaking of reading, I've been told that there is a book named The Poet Empress that is supposed to be very good that I'm also gonna start reading. FYI. I know, dude. It's the same here. It's so warm. No AC, no fan, no nothing. Just. I have blinds in one room, and that's the kitchen. But I don't fucking sleep in there. Yeah, dude. It's not fun. Not at all fun. I know. But I'm like, it's soon over now anyway. And then I know I won't do it next year either. But yeah. Yeah, I know. I just have my mind. But I did realize that I could put a bottle of water in the fridge so that it gets cold. That was pretty smart of me. So that's something. Before I used to use ice cubes, and I'm like, hold on a second. I could just put a bottle in the fridge and then pour it into my cup. Am I genius? Anyway, some soldier's life. I will yawn because I feel it's creeping up on me. 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Oh, now where did my Discord go? I need to see. Someone writes me. Important. Okay. 27. That's nice of you. I'm 29. I'm 30 next year. Wow. I just turned 29 in June. Since when? Since my birthday? Hello? Time do be moving. I'm not. So we're soon 30. I'm born in 1997 on June 23rd. Bro, please. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Yeah, yeah. No. Confusion. Yeah, we've been streaming for a while. I was 27 at one point. It's been good. I was in Sweden and stuff, and that was very, very nice. And then we had some issues at home. And Willow was not feeling great, but she's better now. She's good. She is. Is she in the sofa? Yes, she is. She is. Yeah. But ego fixed. Ego fixed. So she is a good now. Or are we just editing or something? Hold on. Hello. Is it IDK or LDK? I forget. But hello. Welcome. You haven't missed anything. We will start reading in just a second. So don't you worry. I hope people are happy that I started reading again, because otherwise, fuck off. Oh, damn! Really? Damn. I've started playing League again. And I like it. I also tried Project Zomboid. Holy fuck. That shit hard. SSS Revival Hunter? Damn. I mean, as long as it's not copyright and I can get the author to say, yeah, read my novel, then put it on the list. Hello, Hisao. Welcome, welcome. We have not started reading yet. Is the list big? I don't know what's on it. We have A Soldier's Life book 5. We're currently on book 4. Is that camera for your cat? Bruh. I know she is like a cat, but no. It's for my dog. He's in the sofa. I don't know if you can, like, that. It's a little thingy there on the pillow. That's her. Willow one day. She already acts so much like a fucking cat. Apparently, like, it's a breed thing, apparently. I feel like she is just so much like a cat. It's crazy. So far, she seems pretty unique. Not with the cat things, but just like in general. Like, she's crazy. Yeah, no. You don't even understand. Like, even when I've been out walking her, someone is like, I thought you were walking a cat for a second. I was like, what? Can you briefly describe what this book is about? This is called A Soldier's Life, and it's an isekai where a man named Eric got brought into a world that is kind of like the what we would know as Roman times ish, you know? And there is magic and shit, of course. And you have a whole system, of course, it's a fucking system where you can eat essences, which we will do here in the next episode, to grow your power in certain areas and sort of things. And Eric, since he's isekai, he is an otherworlder. And he does not want people to know this. Because he's heard that bad things happen to otherworlders. So he has to keep his secret safe. And then it's about him being... And he's a legionnaire in a company. Very important. He got thrown into some legionnaire shit because they said like, oh, no, you done this crime. You're a legionnaire now. And he's like, okay. And a lot of things have happened since then. We are currently on book 4. I have also permission to read book 5 since book 6 just dropped, I think. Don't know how many books he's supposed to make. But we're on book 4. And I have all the other previous episodes of the whole book up on my YouTube channel if you want to get caught up to speed before. Feel free to do so. I would highly appreciate it. If you're interested, you can also just listen to this episode and be like, oh, this is something that I would enjoy. Then there's even more episodes for you. Congrats. Yeah, so don't worry about the cat thing. Like, it's happened. IRL as well. Maybe she will bless us with her presence later during the stream. Yes. You do have a lot of context. So no worries. Okay then. Last time on A Soldier's Life, Eric and Rena had sex, and he loves to bring that up. Holy fucking shit. And he also loves to bring up that Cinna did not like the fact that they had sex. Because Cinna was like, what about me, Eric? And Eric is like, you're 80. I know, but he wants to, and he's like, baby, but it's a whole thing. Whatever the fuck. Cinna has now got some essences for him, and now we're gonna eat them. So let's go eat them. In chapter 209, how do you like them apples? Oh, she is. Hell yeah, she is. She seems hella hot, dude. That's what everyone says. And then she's like, I'm actually 80. And it's like, what? Are you not 30? No. She's a smash. For sure. These essences rolled in the bowl, clattering against each other as they settled. The myriad of colors were hypnotic as the spheres danced with each other, each emitting a faint light. 10 apex essences and 6 major essences. Wow. Cinna smiled at seeing my amazement. They made the mistake of showing me the last shipment of essences to the capital. High Mage Dacian had a representative there and wanted the apex earth essence. Not sure how he learned of it. I hope you approve. Your assistance has been invaluable. I carefully retrieved the fire essences, 2 apex and 2 major. Their inner flame-like forms a testament to their hidden power. Didn't he say that she was gonna get all the fire essences? And she's like, I got 4 for me. I am truly grateful for your help. I expressed my thanks to Cinna, placing them on the counter in front of her. Okay, so she did get them. Got it. Cinna took them and rolled them in her hand. Popped all of those 4. Had the craziest fucking trip of her life. It has been a while since I consumed an Apex Fire Essence. She placed one of the Apex Essences in her mouth and closed her eyes. She let out a soft moan of pleasure, and her face contorted to mirror her vocalizations. Okay. She opened her eyes, and they glowed like a flame burned deep within their depths. She let out a long, contented sigh, her face flush. Do you want some privacy? I joked. Okay, so... Cinna regained composure, but a happy smirk remained. The feeling of increasing your magic potential is orgasmic, she teased back. Your turn. What the fuck? I looked at the essences and selected the Apex Channeling Essence. I had taken a magic affinity and physical essence less than a day ago, so this was my only option. I placed a large glossy black sphere in my mouth as it dissolved rapidly, its energy racing through my body. The energy was cold as it flowed through my ether channels, cooling the fire of the ether burn until it was completely gone. Hell yeah! I had lived with the pain for weeks, becoming accustomed to it, and suddenly it vanished, causing me to release a relieved sigh. Cinna studied me as the essence reached its peak. Did it work? She asked, slightly confused. I realized that my absorption of the essence took much longer than hers. Yes, I nodded. The burn faded a lot. I can't wait to consume these. I took the 2 major channeling essences and sent them to my dimensional space. The other 2 major essences were earth essences. Cinna explained. I traded the Apex Earth essence for the 2 major earth essences, and this with Dacian's representative. She pulled an Apex essence from the bowl I had never seen before. I knew what it was as I took it from her hand, and because she fucking said it. The sphere had a lot of depth to it as it appeared multiple mirrors rested inside, reflecting the light of the glowstone. It was an apex essence of space. Oh wait, what? Okay, I'm stupid. Wait. I traded the apex earth essence for the 2 major earth essences and this with Dacian's. Oh, okay. This, which was the apex essence of space. Because I was like, bro, she just said it was earth essence. And he was like, I knew what it was. As I took it from her hand. I was like, yeah, and fucking earth essence, dude. Okay, my bad. Well, I thought that was more valuable to you than the earth essence. It should increase the size of your dimensional space slightly. Thank you. I didn't think obtaining a rare magic affinity was possible, I said with genuine appreciation, storing the mesmerizing sphere. Apex essences are the only way for mages to increase their magic significantly. Dacian has always been desperate for any earth that are found. He would have given me his unwedded daughter for it. Wow. The fire mage jested with a laugh. I don't think you would like her. She a decade older than you. I ignored her comment and looked at the remaining 6 apex essences. You got more than you said you. You got more than said you would. Okay. Editing. 4 Apex Quickness Essences. 1 Apex Essence for power, and 1 Apex Essence for dexterity. Dacian's representative was desperate to get the Earth Essence. Apex physical essences are not as rare as magic or affinity essences, but I thought these could help you. Cinna replied with a reassuring smile. You did amazing. I reached out and made all the essences disappear with the bowl. I have another gift for you, Cinna said suggestively. I was caught off guard and shifted a little uncomfortably. Cinna laughed contentedly at my discomfort. Cinna had certainly earned some additional compensation. It just felt like I would be cheating on Rena. Wait, hello? Are we... Cinna finally broke the tension. You can go to the Colosseum tomorrow at first light. Champion Cassian will spend the day with you. As if she would be like, yeah, fuck Rena. Dude, what? Like she didn't even insist. Okay. Eric has changed. I relaxed. Really? I almost moved to hug Cinna, but thought that I almost moved to hug Cinna, but thought that might give the wrong impression. I look forward to it. We had an amiable meal after that. Amiable? The meat buns were much better than I thought they would be, and I thought it would add to my dimensional space if I had the chance to cook a surplus. He's in his whole era, for sure. The conversation focused on the mage aspirants in her classes. Talking about the threats to the Empire, Rena, Flora, or Livia would have killed the mood. Rather than enter the dreamscape, I continued reading. Oh, hello, Dylan. Thank you so much for the prime, dude. Welcome. We're in the first chapter of the day. I was like, episode? We're in the first chapter of the day. You've only missed some spice. Rather than enter the dreamscape, I continued reading the manuscript on dreamscape amulets. I started to get more and more confused as I read the later chapters. I put it down when I got to the end of the book, which described the various types of dreamscape amulets dungeons produced. I have to cough. Oh shit, did that make a very... I'm sorry. I hit my microphone at the end of my... on the end of my fucking share. Holy shit. I'm sorry. The dreamscape amulet I had was a variant. Most dreamscape amulets let you create whatever environment you want, while mine was fixed. The trade-off was those dreamscape amulets reset when you left. Most dreamscape amulets also usually had a much larger space to create in, about the size of a small city. Wow. I was limited to the Lost Orc dungeon, which appeared to be smaller than most such amulets. At least my variant remembered what I had manifested in prior visits. These types of dreamscape amulets were called the Recall Dreamscape Amulets. There was a warning under the description of the Recall amulets. If a Recall Dreamscape amulet were ever brought back into a dungeon where it was found, it would disappear as you passed through the entrance. The dungeon would then leave a small reward chest for the carrier of the amulet. The implication was clear but not stated. The dungeon took back the amulet and rewarded the carrier for whatever they left in the memory of the amulet. The dungeon was using this type of amulet to explore the outside world. Of course, the text had warnings about returning such amulets to the dungeon of origin, and that they needed to be turned over the Collegium Scholarium as they were extremely dangerous. The book implied that dungeons could use the information, evolve, and become more dangerous. Imagine getting Oscar as a reward in a dungeon chest. Oh, I got a puppy! I laughed aloud as the text noted the Empire would fairly compensate for the delivery of such artifacts and that they would be destroyed. In fact, it was required to turn in such dangerous artifacts for the well-being of the Empire. As of right now, everyone thought Cinna had my Dreamscape amulet, but they were not aware of its type. I would have to be careful never to return this amulet to the dungeon that created it. It was too valuable a tool to lose. The Dreamscape amulets were sought after by scholars as they help learn, retain, and puzzle out information in your sleep. Learning complex spells for mages was their primary purpose. I was surprised that it did not mention anywhere in the text how quickly you could improve your combat skills. Then again, most soldiers never learned to manipulate their ether. The authors of the manuscripts probably left it out on purpose too. Scholars and mages would not want to compete with soldiers for time using these artifacts. True. I placed the book in my dimensional space. I had organized the space, but it was still crowded, with a quarter of my space taken up by books I had accumulated. I needed to free up the space and page through some of the remaining books. I couldn't sell the impressive collection, or it would reveal too much and draw unwanted attention. Maybe I could hide it somewhere. I walked the suites, considering my options as I checked every space. I wanted to have the space freed up before Cornelius came for me. I settled on a deep storage closet, cleared the back out of the closet, and looked at the stone walls. I used my earth speak to visualize the stone structure and nodded to myself. I checked to make sure Cinna was not about and removed the large black wood desk, settling it at the back of the closet. I then stacked all the books from my dimensional space on it in large towers, clearing out my space. The books I had not paged through remained in my dimensional storage, about 100, all on elven smithing. I had enough free space to remove a foot of the wall of stone at the back of the closet. I smiled happily as the large ether investment didn't cause a raging fire through my channels. The mass took almost 2/3 of my ether to move. I now had a roughly 8 by 8 foot wall, about 15 inches thick. It took a little work to place the wall perfectly in front of the desk and tomes. Moving the wall out bottomed out my ether, but the task was complete. Only a thin seam on the left and ceiling gave a hint of the secrets concealed behind. One day I could reclaim the stash. I could also use the secret treasure as a ship in the future. I should also be able to move objects in and out of the secret room by utilizing Earthspeak and the range of my dimensional space. Aside as I hated losing the beautiful black desk, I had hoped to use it as a workstation or for my growing alchemy skills. Instead, I would have to use a tablet reader or create a slab with my dimensional space. I spent some time filling the seams with dirt. The fit was tight enough and the wall heavy enough that it would not wobble, but I wanted to conceal it as perfectly as possible. Also, the more airtight the room, the less deterioration the books should have. They were already fairly fragile. I spent more time than I should have and even reorganized the storeroom to conceal the wall further by moving shelves and old furnishings. I was covered in filth as I moved to the baths around midnight. I took a quick shower and was off to rest. If I was spending the entire day tomorrow at the Colosseum, I would not see Rena. Maybe that was a secondary benefit for Cinna, but I was probably overthinking her jealousy. I entered the dreamscape, added 10 new books, studied the Purify Self spell form, and then practiced against the Ankegs with Mavieth and Constantine as allies. Wait. Copy. We progressed to the giant spiders and finished fighting elite orcs and pathfinders. I exited the dreamscape to find Cinna standing by the door. I shouldn't be surprised the mage had bypassed the locks. I was going to remove the amulet from your hand soon. It is just past sunrise, and you do not want to be late. I stood quickly. I stood quickly, making the amulet disappear and ignoring her trespass. I'm sorry, I got caught up in something in the dreamscape and lost track of time. Cinna frowned and looked like she wanted to advise me. I preempted her. You don't need to warn me about becoming infatuated with the false reality. I was practicing my weapons craft. Well, dress how you will. I will escort you through the city today, she said, grinning at the turn of roles. Ignis had your resin hide armor dropped off a short time ago. I walked with Cinna to the common room to find the armor. Ignis had repaired all the damage to make it appear new again. I realized she had put a lot of effort into the restoration. The only evidence of the damage was on the inside of the cuirass, where the arrow had punctured it. There was a resin-infused black leather patch there. I assumed whatever creature it had come from, it was superior to Auroch's hide. Auroch's hide. The sheath made for the orc blade was simple, but the materials looked costly. Cinna confirmed my appraisal. Dyed yeti hide. Half the weight but twice the strength when impregnated with resin sap. If it had an edge, it could be used as a sword itself. Ooh. She was trying to give me a fair value for the book. I mused aloud, studying the sheet. Cinna nodded in confirmation. Can you get it to Renna today? Tell her lessons to follow. Cinna nodded impassively. I dressed in the restored resin hide armor, and we crossed the upper city to the Colosseum. There was palpable tension in the streets. It looked like the first citizens remained cloistered for now, as the normally bright, flashy clothing was missing this early. It felt like Cinna was dropping me off for school as we reached the entrance. Okay, now do you have everything? Just ask for Champion Cassian. They should bring you straight to him as he is expecting you. The lesson ends at sunset, so don't let him cut it short. It was not cheap. Thank you, Cinna. Can I repay you for the lesson? I offered. Who said you haven't already paid for it? She smirked. When you are finished, call a patrol to escort you back to the mage college. I am certain your enemies will learn you are here if they don't know already. She indicated the pairs of Imperial Legionnaires walking the streets. Will they leave their patrol to escort me? I questioned. Just tell them you need to meet Chancellor High Mage Cinna at the Mage College. They will escort you, she retorted blithely. I entered the structure through the gates, leaving Cinna behind. It wasn't long before staff questioned me about why I was there. They asked respectfully due to my legion armor, but were definitely annoyed I was interrupting their work. I addressed the two who had approached me. I have a training session with Champion Cassian the Red. They looked at each other doubtfully, so I added. Chancellor High Mage Cinna arranged it. That seemed more plausible to the two. Follow me. Vectus, you can clean up the wine vomit of the third mezzanine. I don't know what that is. The other man groaned as I led away. We circled around to the far side of the Colosseum and across a small courtyard to an attached apartment complex. They live in the Colosseum? That's literally what I was just gonna ask. I'm like, sorry? Apartment? I asked, but not really expecting an answer. Most gladiators couldn't afford to live in the upper city, so the first citizens sponsored many of them with apartments here and provided gifts to keep them happy, the man said as I followed him into the structure. A massive 3-story white marble lobby had stairs leading up to sheltered balconies. He pointed to one balcony. There. He then hurried off, not waiting to see if Cassian was in his apartment. I climbed the stairs and knocked. The black-haired gladiator opened the door naked. His chiseled frame looked confused. Oh, Eric is definitely in his hoe era. I'm expecting someone, Legionnaire. Whatever your business, come back tomorrow. I am your business today. Chancellor Cinna arranged lessons for me today. A look of realization ebbed into his face. Oh, I thought it was sword lessons with Cinna. Is that why you're naked? Pardon my confusion. Most of the time, a first citizen arranges lessons. It is for my shorter sword. We can still spar with our shorter swords. I don't mind. I was a bit shocked by the statement and assumed Cinna had probably set me up as a joke. I shook my head, gaining myself. No, I'm interested only in combat training. He shrugged, looking me over carefully. Well, if you change your mind at any time, let me know. Give me a few minutes and we can head over to the gladiator yards. What is this? Champion Cassian strutted off, and I could imagine Cinna having a good laugh at my expense right now. Still, I was going to get as much out of the combat lesson as possible. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Chapter 210. Cassian the Red. I have to yawn. I'm sorry. I followed Cassian as he emerged from the gladiator's apartment complex, dressed in a comfortable white tunic with a red belt and sandals. Despite his leisurely appearance, I noticed he was unarmed. As we stepped out, he has his short sword. As we stepped outside, a lion's roar made me stop in my tracks. Cassian looked back at me, amusement dancing in his eyes. The arena creatures and prisoners are kept nearby. Some make it to the Imperial Zoo, but others are destined to bleed on the sand. Don't worry, Legionnaire. I promise to protect you, he said with a smirk before continuing on his way. It was a short walk to a walled-in courtyard. Racks of practice weapons were under a canopy along one wall. 2 men were practicing with large stones. They were using the rocks for strength training. At least, that is what I assumed. Both only wore a loincloth, and their bodies were lathered in a sheen of sweat. Okay, Eric. I caught up to Cassian at the weapons rack. Shorts, but that's what he said! He said that! He said that! He said so! We can still spar with our shorter swords. I don't mind. He said that. I caught up to Cassian at the weapons rack. You should remove your armor, or don't, whatever you prefer. What do you prefer for your lessons? He gestured at the racks. What are you most skilled in? I asked, looking at the racks that contained variations of swords, maces, and spears. There were even some exotic-looking weapons like tridents, nets, whips, and glaives. Yes, the exotic weapon net. Okay. In the arena, sword and shield, but I am proficient with everything you see here, even the net. He's like, the whip, please. The 2 men who had been strength training had been sneaking curious side glances at us. By their shocked looks, I took it that Champion Cassian rarely gave personal lessons. With clothes on. I walked to the extensive rack of spears to find one similar to my black-tipped weapon in length and weight. For the morning, I would like to train with this, both with a shield and also 2-handed. I spun the shaft, finding the center of balance, and nodded. Cassian moved to get his own spear, but I stopped him. I want to practice against you while you wield a variety of weapons. Start with the sword and shield. Cassian nodded appreciatively, and I think it was the first time he hadn't looked down on me. That shaft is too thick to be used one-handed. One hand is going to have trouble gripping its girth, but you do have a rather large hands. Dude, they keep going. They don't let it go. Keep at it. He commented cheekily. There was innuendo in the advice. Oh, really? But it was sound. I hope I was not going to have to put up with this all day. I hope so. I love him. Cassian is my new goat. I explained my reasoning for not changing weapons to him. It matches a weapon I prefer. I want to be prepared whether I have a shield or not. He shrugged. If you were going to use a spear 2-handed, I would suggest a glaive instead, as it is better for slashing. But it's your time. I removed my armor as he advised, and I did not like the way he studied me appreciatively, as my underclothes were already saturated with sweat and sticking to me. Ew. I told him what I wanted from the lessons. I'm not looking to put on a show. I want to learn the most efficient way to cripple and kill my opponent. Cassie nodded seriously and understanding. Ooh. We started slowly, as you should, with Cassian constantly talking as he told me his intentions for his actions. Now I'm gonna do this with my spear. And what flaws he saw in my defense and offense. After a few hours, we were both drenched in sweat, even though the air was chilly. I noted smugly that he was more fatigued than me, as we drank from pitchers of cold water placed by servants. Damn, Eric. Cassian chewed on some sugar cane and spat out the remnants. You're not a conscript, are you? Your technique is too refined. You fooled me with the common legionnaire armor. Eric is experienced. I have had the opportunity to train with some of the Legion's most capable warriors, I replied, not revealing the complete truth that I was a foreigner. I stood. Show me your best in the next hour of exchanges, and then I will switch to sword and shield, and you can cycle through weapons again. He laughed merrily at my eagerness, standing and stretching his back. You are wearing me out. Your enthusiasm and bottomless endurance could have been better spent in my apartment. I'm sorry, Willow. I'm sorry, Willow. No, you go back to sleep. Yes. This is Cassian, dude. I love him. May nothing bad happen to him. I only prefer the company of women. He does not. Do you remember? This is a lie. This is a lie. But then, do you all remember the first episode? Like the first episodes, the first chapters? I think his name was Damien. He was a healer of some sort. Even the author was like, yeah, Damien is probably into Eric. Like, it was hella vibes, you know? I guess Eric wasn't into it, but like, I mean, but he didn't say no. But damn. Okay. Yes. I only preferred the company of women, I stated firmly, trying to end his constant pansexual banter. He shook his head, disappointed. There is nothing wrong with a good woman, too. But having a lover who matches your strength and takes control is true passion. He wanted that whip at the start, like I said. Still, it is my only preference. Can we focus on the lesson? I beseeched. Cassian shrugged, but I think he was upset at my lack of interest. Dude, me too. Humor him. He showed me his best as we engaged. We had drawn a small crowd of gladiators, servants, and Imperial Legionnaires as well. Despite my training and lessons, I was at a disadvantage. He was stronger, faster, and had more experience. I needed to draw out his best to create a suitable manifestation of him in my dreamscape. My god, I'm sorry. Hiccup. I poured everything into the exchanges as I focused. I took 6 blows to score 1 on him, usually a glancing strike. On one lucky redirect of the spear's tip, I caught his shin. Even with a dull tip, it cut to the bone, causing a flow of blood. I stepped back as a servant rushed in to use his healing spell form on the wound. A number of the spectators clapped softly in appreciation at my minor success. I paused to look over the some 50 watching men and women. I noticed a few familiar faces among the legionnaires. Senna was right. My enemies had learned of me being here. Cassius' personal legionnaire was here, as was the legionnaire who had searched my pack during the mage aspirant training. I would worry about it when I left. For now, I wanted to get the most out of champion Cassian. After he was healed, he reestablished his dominance. I felt a pressure headache building, and I was certain he had spell form that increased his speed. When I asked for a break, the claps were much louder this time for the show. At the water, Cassian asked, "You have a healing spell form?" I just nodded slightly as he had injured me a number of times, and I managed to walk it off quickly. There was no point in denying it. "Your name, Legionnaire?" "Eric. Eric Marco," I replied. "You have a haste spell form, and something that gives me a headache." He laughed raucously. "Eric Marco. I will remember the name." This was for the benefit of our watchers, and his showmanship for the arena came through to recognize my ability. In a quieter tone, he answered my questions. "You are right. I can accelerate in short bursts, enhancing my muscles, but it fatigues me quicker. The headache you are impaired with is because you resist another spell form of mine. It allows me to read your surface thoughts to anticipate your actions. You may not excel in combat since circumstances change so quickly, but together I can guide you into position to gain an advantage. Does he use that in his apartment as well? I should have known the greater gladiator in the Empire used spell forms. It only made sense. Thanks for telling me the truth. Is there a way to block you from stealing my thoughts? He laughed again. You were already doing a decent job of fending me off. The best way is to fight without emotion. Emotional thoughts are louder and harder to conceal from a reader. Are you ready to switch your weapons? The reach of your spear has caused me enough injury today, and not in a pleasant way. Hey, I told you. The whip. I rolled my eyes, and he laughed. I went to the racks and found a blade similar to Orc's Torment. I groaned as I recognized two new men in the crowd. First Citizen Boris Angela. Fuck off. And First Citizen Justin Cicero, dude. Even though they were distant, I didn't need them close to feel the animosity. I ground my teeth as another familiar face stood behind Boris. Who? Apparently Lorene. That bitch. It's okay with you. Don't worry, Willow. We just don't like Lorene. Yeah. Apparently, Lorene had been retained by Boris. She did not look well, and her eyes appeared slightly dead as she refused to meet my gaze. Well, that's not nice. I mean, I don't hate her. But she's a bitch. My anger at her fled as it looked like she had been punished and placed in a miserable situation. Dude, yeah, the same. Like, no. No, I'm sorry, Lorene. I'm sorry. When I returned to the sands with the shield and blade, I questioned. Is it common to draw such a crowd here? Cassian looked over the 100+ people that were slowly growing after midday, as word traveled. No, only sponsors of gladiators can observe the training yard. They can bring guests without limit. Someone is letting them in. Can we train somewhere else? He arched his brow and joked. I thought you didn't want to spar privately? He sensed my displeasure. No, this is the only training yard. It is here or we are finished for the day. He held open his hands in an apology. I was distracted as we began the training again. As Cassian moved through various weapons, the crowd grew larger and larger. The other gladiators had chosen to watch us rather than train themselves. I took advantage of my time and tried to ignore the crowd, where Cassian seemed to feed off their energy. I found it troubling to be under a microscope. I had been hiding my abilities for so long that having so many eyes on me was uncomfortable. Cassian didn't use his speed boost or Jedi mind tricks on me in the afternoon. Yeah, sure. Before the evening bell rang in the city, I stopped the lessons even though there was an hour to sunset. I am done. Thank you. I held out my filthy hand specked in dried blood, and we shook our wrists. He pulled me a little closer. Oy. It was one of the most enjoyable lessons I have given. In the training yard. If you only prefer women, perhaps we can share one day. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. I countered instantly. I will have to pass on your offer. I returned the weapons and shield and buckled on my armor over my filthy clothes. The crowd was dispersing, and other gladiators were moving to practice after watching us most of the day. Well, watching Cassian gave lessons to me in hopes of learning something. Champion Cassian was a champion for a reason. I was certain he could easily defeat me if neither of us used spell forms. If we both went all out, that was something I would have to answer in my dreamscape. I still had a few tricks and 4 Apex Quickness essences yet to consume as well. I was supposed to request an escort back to the Mage College, but it was clear that the only legionnaires in the area were likely unfriendly. Instead of heading for the crossroads that I walked to the Colosseum on, I moved in the opposite direction to where the portal stone lay. My admirers had prepared for me to go the other way, but were moving to catch up. The 5 legionnaires and the 2 first citizens started to close. I managed to reach the gate of the Imperial grounds before them. 4 Imperial legionnaires guarded the entrance, and 1 mage commander by the looks of it. Can I get an escort through the Imperial grounds to the Mage College? I have an urgent message for Chancellor Cinna. I hoped my name dropping would get me inside, but I realized increased security in the city might make it infeasible. The mage commander seemed skeptical and spoke for the gate guard. What is the message? I can do a sending and save you the time. Really? Can she reply back? I asked at my good fortune. A short reply, yes, he said with narrowed eyes, still suspiciously. Excellent, I said with a smirk as I prepared a carefully worded reply. Minutes later, a slightly uneasy mage commander and legionnaire were escorting me through the Imperial grounds after receiving orders from Cinna. The western side of the Imperial grounds was where the Imperial Palace was located. It was the closest I had ever gotten to the imposing Imperial Palace. Fountains, lifelike statues, and plazas surrounded it. Under large arched pavilions, pavilions, classes with young noble children were finishing their last lessons of the day. Pairs of Imperial legionnaires were everywhere. I began to suspect that something not meant for public knowledge had occurred in the Imperial Palace. Cinna would likely know. My escorts left me with sour expressions at the entrance to the Mage College. I made my way up to Cinna's apartments. Of course, she was not here to confront, so I took the opportunity to bathe and soak in the recessed pool. I moved to the kitchen and started to prepare Cinna's dinner. Well, after sunset, she stepped out of her room. I see you were able to evade First Citizen Boris and return safely. Did your instruction go well today? She asked. I studied her to see if she had intentionally set me up. It was very productive. Cassian is a true weapon master. He was so impressed with me that he even invited me to share his bed, I said nonchalantly to judge her reaction. Her eyes widened in shock or maybe amusement. Cinna would make a good poker player. Really? I heard Cassian is a well-known as First Citizen orgies. I have never been myself. We met eyes as we studied each other for a long moment. I tried to decide whether she had played a joke. I just gave up and shook my head. Has something happened in the Imperial Palace? I inquired, dropping it as I had gotten what I wanted from the gladiator. Cinna looked over what I was preparing before she spoke measuredly. The truth seekers have been rooting out spy after spy in the city and on the Imperial grounds. Everyone is being questioned, and the Emperor's paranoia is growing. I have been questioned twice myself. I nodded, but realized Cinna probably had the same safeguards I did for being questioned by truth seekers. Right, he did something to his bones, he inscripted some shit on his bones so that truth seekers, he and fuck is his name? Castile did it together, I think, or she was with him at least when they did it. That was crazy. I forgot all about that. That was insane. Is the Imperial still planning to march? I asked as I finished the meal. He is, she confirmed as I slid her finished dinner to her. Nothing special tonight, just some braised pork chops with appleberry glaze. Of course, the dungeon board from which the pork chops were sourced had been massive. I am exhausted from the day. I'm going to retire. I paused. Is Rena well? Cinna swallowed. She is fine. She got your gift and is looking forward to your private lessons to teach her how to use it. I nodded and left Cinna to finish her meal. I pulled out 2 Apex essences in my small room, Space Affinity and Quickness. I added a major essence for channeling to the pair of large spheres. It was time to find out if my dimensional space could be upgraded. I took the Quickness essence first. My nerves fired with tingles of electricity as it worked. When it settled, I moved on to the major channeling essence. Now that I was more aware of where the ether flowed in my body, the metabolism of the channeling essence was like a cool, refreshing wave through my body. As the effects faded, I rolled a mirror-like sphere in my hand. Should I empty my dimensional space before consuming this? Could I accidentally destroy everything inside? I decided to remove all the coins and artifacts as a precaution. My small bed was littered with potions and coins. I couldn't believe how much silver I had accumulated in the dungeon. Taking a deep breath, I consumed the apex essence. The spell form on my space aspect stretched. No, it was not stretching. It just felt like it was stretching. I could feel the threads that connected the spell form to the dimensional space strengthen and purify. As it worked, I pulled a visualization of the space. The borders all around the cube were expanding like an inflating balloon. When they stopped, I released the breath I was holding. In my estimation, each dimension had increased by almost half a foot. My 10-foot cube was now an 11-foot cube. I uncovered the table reader table, eager to do a reading. Ooh, bigger space! Dude, let's go. Excited to see what the table reader table will tell us next time. Where is my puppy? She is eating. Okay. And now I would like to read some lore as well, if I may. If I may, I would love to do that. Today's chapter was fine, funny. I had fun today. I enjoyed that. Oi! Accidentally pressed the thingy. Oh, my bad. Okay, so now I would like to read some League of Legends lore. Is this looking like it should? No, this one. Yeah, there. You can't see it yet, so don't worry. I'm just gonna make sure. And then I'll just do. Nah, whatever, who cares? So. Right, I wanted to change the thingy as well. Did this one? Yeah. There we go. Now we have the Lee lore background. As it should be. I just want to stretch some. That might trigger the dog. Yeah. She thinks that's when you stop. When you stretch. No, I do not. Look at her, so cute. Follow Willow on her socials, she's very cute. No. Anyway. Today, I think we are now. Oh my god. I think we're halfway through the Freljord Champions now, which is kind of exciting. So today we will read some Nunu and Willump, who was only named Nunu before, but has now been changed to Nunu and Willump. The boy and his Yeti. So Nunu is back there, and Willump is the big Yeti. Very cute. Pull the fur out of your ear holes, Willump. This is gonna be the bestest story ever. Once upon a time, there was a boy who wanted to prove he was a hero by slaying a fearsome monster, only to discover that the beast, a lonely and magical Yeti, merely needed a friend. Bound together by ancient power and a shared love of snowballs, Nunu and Willump now ramble wildly across the Freljord, breathing life into imagined adventures. They hope that somewhere out there they will find Nunu's mother. If they can save her, maybe they will be heroes after all. Aww. Let's hope they do find his mom. Let's see if they do. Oh, look, they're so cute. cute. Oh, Willump is so cute. Oh, okay. Nuno and Willump, the boy and the Yeti. One of the Notai, a nomadic tribe that long traveled the Freljord, Nunu learned from his mother, Leica, that behind everything is a story. Together they gathered tales that Leica turned into songs. For Nunu, nothing was better than journeying from the village to village, hearing his mother sing of ancient heroes. With music and dance, the Notai brought one last celebration to everyone they met, as each winter's chill set in. Riding the wave of frost spilling from Anivia's wings, his heart beating the rhythm of a jubilant song, Nunu's world was full of possibility. On his 5th name day, Leica gave Nunu a special gift, a flute, so he could learn to play her melodies himself. In the safety of their cart, the two bundled together and followed the knotted string that served as Leica's heart song, recording everywhere they'd been together, as the years came and went. When the caravan was attacked by raiders, Nunu was separated from his mother. Though he was dragged to safety by the surviving oh my fucking god, what has happened? Though he was dragged to safety by the surviving Notai, he was left to wonder what had happened to Leica, waiting to hear her songs in the wind. Snow fell. Weeks passed. Nunu missed his mother desperately, but the Notai assured him no child could safely search for her. They weren't even impressed when he showed them the flute he now called Svelsånger, the name of a mighty blade existing only in his imagination. Oh, cute. Nunu spent more and more time alone, escaping into his mother's songs, the legends and heroes of old. He yearned to be one of these heroes, perhaps even a great warrior like the Frost Guard, who could have saved his mother. He even met their leader, Lysandra, who asked countless questions about his mother's stories, always seeking information about one particular song. No one believed he could be a hero, not even the other Notai children, who teased him for his flute when they now had daggers. But Nunu knew the songs in his heart, and one night he realized how he could prove himself and persuade the others to help to find his mother. From the tribe's fearful whispers, he'd learned of a fierce monster that killed all who sought its power, thwarting the local hunters who were sent each year, never to return. There was a song that Nunu's mother sang, one that he now couldn't seem to stop singing to himself. Suddenly, Nunu understood what he had to do. He could name the beast. It would answer his challenge and feel the wrath of Svelsånger. Using his flute to tame a herd of elkyr, Nunu snuck out into the snow. One lonely child traveled to face a monster, finally living out a legend that not even he could imagine. An ancient and noble race that once ruled over the mountains of the Freljord, the Yeti civilization was destroyed in a cataclysm of ice. Forced to watch his brethren descending into savagery after being stripped of their magic, one Yeti swore to protect what remained of their power, a gem that swirled with the frozen dreams of any mortal mind nearby. As the last magical Yeti, the Guardian was also shaped by perception. Though he had been chosen to safeguard the magic until it would be needed again, he could find no worthy vessel. The men who intruded upon his ruined home had only malice in their hearts, and so a monster greeted them with fang and claw. But the Guardian knew he was forgetting something: his name, and the names of those he had loved. Once there had been a song. That all changed when a young boy stumbled into the ruins. After centuries of unbroken vigil, the monster was prepared to end the boy's life, snarling as he sensed the human approach. Unexpectedly, the gem brought forth images of heroes slaying dragons and beheading ancient serpents from the boy's mind. The child roared, drawing his flute like a fearsome sword, but the blow never came. For even as the boy saw visions of heroes swirling around him, he realized the deeper truths of the songs his mother sang. When he looked at the guardian, he didn't see a monster. He saw someone who needed a friend. Still enraged, the Yeti did not expect the first snowball to the face, or the second. Snowball fight! In anger, then shock, then joy, the guardian joined in, shaped not by fear but by a child's imagination. He was growing furrier and friendlier. His growl was becoming a laugh. Until the beast accidentally broke the boy's flute. As the child began to cry, the guardian felt a kindred grief take shape around the gem. For centuries he had looked into it and seen the end of his people, the threat they had buried, betrayal by the blind one. And now, instead, he saw a caravan burning. He heard a voice on the wind. He sensed something else within the boy, something he had never felt from a human, not even the three sisters who had come to him long ago. It was love, fighting back despair. In that moment, the guardian knew the Freljord's only hope lay in the power already within the child. The magic he'd been guarding was a tool. What truly mattered was the heart that would shape it. With a gesture, the magic passed from the gem into the boy, giving him the ability to make his imagination real. To repair his flute, freezing it in dreams that hardened into true eyes. To imagine a best friend named Willump. Escaping into the Freljordian plains, Nunu's heart and Willump's strength now enabled the pair to do what they could never could alone. To have an adventure. Following the songs of Nunu's mother, they snowball wildly from one place to the next, holding on to the hope that she is still out there somewhere. But Willump knows that with magic and dreams come responsibility. One day the games will end, as the dark eyes at the heart of the Freljord thaws and thaws. Oh, but they're so cute. They are just so cute. Oh, cuties. Okay, that was his story. But we have more. We've already read The Legends of the Frozen Watchers in the Lysandra episode, so we don't have to do that again. We've already read this. Then we have two short stories, Frozen Hearts and Stone Cold. So we will read those. Frozen Hearts by David Slagel. Maybe. I'm sorry. Hard last name. Mom, can I ask you a question? What's wrong, Nunu? There's something crickling your nose, and I don't think the Elker can be blamed. Well, this time. No offense, Kona. Haha, Elkers smell like dosicles. But we always make him pull our carts anyway. I don't want to leave, Mom. I like that village. I found a war horn in the mud. Then come close, my little grimacling, and I will remind you. There is a reason the Notai must leave as the snow settle. An adventure that Winter's mother has entrusted to us. You mean Anivia? Mm-hmm. They say she's a phoenix, with icicles instead of feathers. Her wings borne on frigid wind. Brrr. But we, Notai, know. It is hope that carries Anivia, and that she is not a guardian of our realm, as the Avarosans say. She is freedom. She is the spirit that fills you as you follow your passion, no matter how mean the world is. Do you know what passion is, Nunu? Is it when the barbarian kisses the war mother? Sometimes. And sometimes the war mother kisses the barbarian. But if I had to name it, I would call passion the feeling of one last celebration as winter hits. The warmth inside even better because the first snows are falling. The dancing, the singing, a lyre in my hands, shivering even as I burn with this thing I try to name. This is what Anivia was tasked us with carrying across the Freljord. This is what gives her wind on her migration. Some villagers see us as an untrustworthy traders. Others fear us for the ice that announces our arrival, the winter that can mean life or death. But to them we bring song, we bring togetherness. We link each village with our spirit. Can you imagine what a gift this is, Nunu? To know what we know, because caravan carts have rattled it into our bones. Life is an endless string of opportunity for songs. Like these? Yes, like my song strands. Each string is a song, each knot in the string a note, and each note a place we've been while following Anivia. Like this one. This is the droning murmur of pilgrims, gathered beneath the statue of Avarosa at Rattlesnake, a frozen lake that glitters like a jewel too massive for anyone to own. But the Avarosans have built a monument beside it and say they own it anyway. They live their lives as if they are statues, war mothers, iceborn. They do not move. They fear the world that exists outside of Avarosa's shadow. But to others, they have already moved too much. The Winter's Claw. They hate Avarosians. Avarosans. But the song binds them together, like this. This is the sound of the Shanes tying wolf ships to Glazerport, and the Winter's Claw to the past. The old ways. Blood in the snow. They live their lives on shattered ice. They think it is their might that cracks a path to sea, the wolf ships prowling through. But it is not strong to climb to Shanes, and to demand that others carry them as well. To cling to Shanes, my bad. I remember the wolf ships, Mom. They were made out of wood, not wolves. The Winter's Claw don't know how to name things. Some things, Nunu, should not be named, like the Frostguard Citadel above the Howling Abyss. All those secrets of my own, of the warmth I have found. They preach there the words of the three sisters, but I think secrets are their true faith. How can you rescue someone from something they don't know? That only this howled dirge remembers, rising from the abyss. What the Frostguard guard against. What the Frostguard guard against. Are they heroes, like in the songs? I want to be a hero too. Listen to these notes, Nunu. They are the fortress at Frosthorn Peak and the crypts beneath. They are quiet, empty. Whatever the Iceborn fought against has been forgotten. And now, with nothing else to fight, they use their power to rule. Avarosans, Winter's Claw, Frostguard. They are the same. They use statues, chains, secrets to push men down onto their knees. But you, when I look out onto the road, I see your future, Nunu. The joy you will bring to so many, as you have brought me. As a winter's mother wills it, and as she ends her winds to carry you, I will send love. You are my heart song, Nunu. What notes should we add next? Where should love take us? We're probably going to another village, but this one won't have war horns. No, Nunu. There's always more out there. You only need to imagine it. We could travel to a bridge that once spanned the sky. Only it collapsed in a forgotten age, and most of it lies hidden behind the clouds. But, can you hear that? Someone is stepping along its edge. We could pass into the tombs of creatures who've ruled the Freljord before humans, find the mist that freezes in midair, giving ancient dreams shape. What is that in front of you, Nunu? Can you catch a dream on your tongue? Or find glacial tunnels that branch, as if tracing the shape of a world tree that our ancestors destroyed and buried in ice? All these things you can find, if only you look. You can go anywhere you can imagine. Could we go to the top of the whole wide world, so I could play my war horn? I bet then even Avarosa would hear it, and she'd come back. We can go there right now, Nunu, if you tell me all about it. What would you see? What is the story in your heart? I know how it starts. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Nunu, and Leica, his mom, and she was beautiful, and they lived in a caravan, and they were trying to think of where to go next. And what did they decide, Nunu? They decided they could go anywhere together, and so their caravan flew off into the sky when Kona grew wings out of her butt and flapped harder than a Nivea, and the two of them were warm and safe, even though snow was falling. What's that feeling, Mom? Like a hug, only it's home. It's home, my little hero. And that is where we will always be, no matter where we go. It is how we know, though the cold comes with us, though it can be hard and demand hope, it will never be winter, Nunu, if you love the person beside you. So cute. And now he loves Willump. They're just cute. They're just cute together. That was cute. I like that. Now I hope that the story is about Willump and Nunu doing cute things. There was no more, right? Yeah, some early Nunu concepts. Okay. And we have the last story. Stone Cold. Also by David Slagle. Hope I said your name right. Stone Cold. I wake up suddenly, like a story that starts in the middle of the action. In medias res. The song. I heard it. Willump, I shout. I heard the song again. Wake up. I shove aside the snow that serves as our blanket and look my fluffery thick friend in the face. His whiskers are twitching like they can feel my dream slowly fading. He growls and his breath swirls into all kinds of shapes. But even though he's old and his hair in his ear holes, still he's my best friend. I laugh as his beard tickles my nose. Nothing like a magical yeti to bring me back to reality. Willump rolls over and starts scratching his grumbling belly. You're always thinking about food. I laugh again. Laughing feels good. It helps me remember. My mom. We've been following her song across the fjord. My mom's heart song. Everywhere we've ever been, she made a verse. And if I could only remember what each place was, I could find my way back to her. I could save her, like a hero in her stories. But I can only remember parts of the song when I'm not trying, and sometimes it's like my mom is out there, singing. Like that! Did you hear that? It's coming from that village, I bellow, pointing towards a patch of darkness beneath a frozen waterfall. Something inside me knows that's where the song came from. Sword first, Willump. I'll cut through the wind. I shiver as we enter the clearing a few moments later, though I'm surrounded by grassy fur. Even this close, the village is mostly shadows. There are no people. If there were, I'd know, because it's so cold I'd see their breath. What is this place? I ask. Willump growls wisely. Naliaeg? That can't be its name. How would anyone know how to spell that? Then Willump grumbles that it's the Yeti word for stone. The buildings are stones shaped really high. The pathways are stones too. Stones. Got it. So, it's not weird that the flowers are carved out of stone, right? And those furs hanging over a door. And that old rope. At least it would be rope if it wasn't hard and grey. Is everything around here stones? I ask. It's not fair. In the stories, stones at least have runes carved into them or something. I'm starting to wonder why the song led me here, when finally I see a person, their back turned beneath an archway. My name is Nunu and I'm here to help, I yell, and I pull at the person's shoulder, but when they topple into the light with a dull twunk, I immediately realize they're stone too. And beyond the archway are all the missing people from the village, huddled together like statues. There's one who looks like a warrior, now dull and grey. There's a farmer and his wife, holding each other tightly, like they were carved from one slab. A little girl, a pebble beside them. It's a curse, a real one. Willump, I say, we gotta do something. That's the thing about my mom's songs. My favorite were always tales of heroes, more than a match for any curse. With the lessons I learned, we can save these people, right? I have to believe, otherwise, how am I gonna save her? I remember one song, a myth about how Avarosa healed a turtle that carries the sea by giving it a big kiss. But I don't want my first kiss to be a statue. I make Willem kiss him just in case and watch as the stone gets stuck to his fur. I try saying the prayers Lysandra taught me, just in case. I make a dragon out of snow to scare the curse away, like Anivia did to fight the southern army. I even try pulling the sun closer, like how Braum thawed his village in my song my mom sang. But the sun's too far. Braum must have really long arms. Willem tries to comfort me. He says some curses can't be fought. Sometimes heroes don't win. But I remember what matters. I can feel it, even though my mom is missing, our caravan buried in snow. The feeling of being loved. That's what this village deserves. If we can't help these people, I tell Willem, then we're gonna help these statues. I smile and reach for my flute. I mean my sword. Svelsonger. Hero time. Ha! I can smell the curse. A hateful stench, like a troll. It has the weight of centuries. Weight that could grind the years this child has left down to mere days. Here is where even heroes of song would question how they could fight, blades powerless against ancient magic. But Nunu is no mere hero. He is something better. He is a boy. Feminism? He whoops and calls my attention to the frozen waterfall above us. We are close enough now that he can see them, nestled atop stillness. Krugs. Stone creatures animated by magic, more than at home living above a village such as this one. Their nest has dammed the river's water's flow, holding back the Failures' lifeblood. I taste a hint of Nunu's intentions. It tastes like Krugs. Delicious. Hey, stone crabs! You took something from those statues, Nunu yells, and hops onto my back without losing a beat, for the music is in his heart. The magic is his now, swept up in his imagination. Snow forms before us, gradually taking shape into a mighty snowball. I laugh as we ramble wildly, our merry burden growing so large that beneath us the village trembles, buildings stretching themselves awake. And still the snowball grows larger. The Krugs make only a tiny shitter as we leap into the air to the top of the waterfall, blotting out the sun. The Freljord goes white, the dam embraced by snow even as it's torn apart. And then the earth roars. Icicles crack like bones made brittle by winter. The roar grows louder as the river coughs and clears dust from its throat, water tumbling into the village below. Did you see that, Willem? Nunu asks, but my eyes are already closed. I can feel a magic more powerful than the curse welling up to fill the village, casting shivers through my fur and bringing warmth to a world that is cold. It is the only magic that can save the Freljord. Even the frozen dreams of my people, coveted by the Frost Guard, pale in comparison to this magic, held in abundance by a child. Hope. His arms are around me now, and I hug him back with all four limbs, looking away so he does not see the snowflakes falling from my eyes. Oh. What curse has not lifted, but still life has returned. And as it spreads, stone flowers washing away to make room for living ones. What curse could stand in its way? No evil can last if life embraces joy and refuses to hide. I reach into the ground and pick up a chunk of ice, crushing it to snow between my paws. Hey! Nunu yells as I hit him in the face with a snowball, trailing the magic that whirls in his heart. As we play, the wind whips through the flute on Nunu's back, casting up stray notes. Then I'll finally hear it too. Her song. Where waters once roared, winds whisper to stone. In shadow, Naliaeg lies. Silence sings, hope survives. Cute! That was Nunu and Willop. On to the next one. But that's next time. They're so cute. Who even is it next time? Is this all shams? Yeah, I don't want all shams. No, not comics, not comics. Okay, thanks. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? I need to know. Olaf! And then it's Orn. Oh, I love Orn. He's so cute. Sejuani will be interesting. Trondal, Trinidad, Udir, Volibear. All of these are interesting. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. I think we've gotten the most lore heavy out of there. I don't know, like, maybe they have like a super long fucking stories, but I mean, all these are important dudes. They're all important dudes. Sejuani as well. Interesting to see what will be next. But okay, that will be it for me today. That will be it for us. Being really. So we will play some Wawas for you. Thank you so much for coming and watching and listening to me read. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Thank you so much. Feel free to go and follow me on places, my socials, Smolses everywhere. I recently recorded a new cover of The Hill, which I really think turned out great. So go listen to that if you're interested on YouTube. Or if you want to listen to other Champions Lures or more Soldier's Life, those are also on YouTube. Or if you want to look at Willow, then follow her. And join the Discord for updates and stuff. So thank you so much for watching once again. Have a nice rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Hey, bye bye.